Hello folks, my name is Mark. Welcome to my channel, and today is September 22nd, 2025, and this is the iPhone XR. This camera and phone system I've been using since the first day of making videos here on YouTube in 2020. Was when I first started making videos, and this phone came out in 2018, and so it was the newest, most modern phone, or newest or most modern camera that I had, and so that's what I was making all my YouTube videos off of this phone, and it still works good to this day. Does 4K 30, 1080p 60. It makes decent videos, and I've been using it for hundreds and hundreds of videos. But it is getting older. It's 8 years old or something now, and so I thought it would be time for something new, right? And so this is what we've got. This is the iPhone 17 Pro Max in blue, and it's the 256 gigabyte model, which is double the storage of this iPhone XR at 128 gigabytes of storage. And so this is the first upgrade I've had in a long time as far as phones. It's my oldest phone, or oldest camera that I currently use on a regular basis for this channel. I use the iPhone XR, a GoPro 8, and a Sony a6400, and a drone. So this will be a nice upgrade for the channel as far as video quality and audio quality, and there's so much that I use this phone for this channel that this is a big upgrade. All right, so we're going to open that up shortly, but before we'll do that, I just want to go back just a little bit farther to my first iPhone. This is the iPhone 5S, and it still works good. I mean, it's not very smooth, it's not very powerful, the internet takes forever to load up on it, but it still does work, right? The 5S, this is from 2013. It has a 4-inch screen, a 8 megapixel camera capable of doing 1080p 30. Yeah, so the iPhone 5S, it did 1080p at 30 frames per second in the video app. Now, I never really used this phone for video, but I did take a lot of photographs. I particularly used to ride around on the motorcycle, and I had this phone a lot, and so it worked pretty good. And this particular, it has 1 gigabyte of RAM and 16 gigabytes of storage inside of it. And when it first came out, it was using iOS 7, and today it uses iOS 12.5.7. Right, and so that's the first iPhone I ever had, and of course we went from that one to the iPhone XR, which also just has one camera, and this phone came out in 2018. It has the A12 chip, a 6.1-inch screen, a 12 megapixel camera. Now, the focal length of this camera is 32 millimeters equivalent full frame, and the sensor size is 1/2.55, which is about 7 millimeters on a diagonal, and it records in 4K 30. A12 chip, it came with iOS 12 and is currently running iOS 18.7. This device has 3 gigabytes of RAM, so 3 times more than this one. And I bought this one with 128 gigabytes of storage, which was an upgrade from the base model at 64 gigs. Now the screen on this one is only 625 maximum nits, as I understand it. So this one is an upgrade quite a bit to all of these phones, right? I don't know what else I need to say about them, other than let's get into it. Let's open it up. Right, I've been using this thing for so long. The box has a little bump where the phone is, and a little bump where the bump on the camera is, and little bumps where the camera bumps are right there. It's kind of interesting. Feels good. And there's the color. Careful, don't scratch it. Oh, you know, one thing I was going to say is that this is an aluminum phone, and this is an aluminum phone, aluminum and glass, and this is an aluminum phone and glass. And I've never had a stainless steel phone. I've never had a titanium phone. I've only had aluminum and glass. And so every smartphone I've ever had, of which all of these are them, I've had an OtterBox on there, OtterBox Defender Pro, and it's kept my phone safe. Right, there's the 5S, the OtterBox Defender Pro for the XR, and for the 17 Pro Max, I also have an OtterBox Defender Pro. So it's going to immediately go inside of this phone case to protect it from scratches and damages and stuff like that. Now, I know from watching other people's videos, there's not a whole lot in here. You get a pretty standard type cable, and then a little piece of paper telling you that there's an eSIM in the phone. Now, all of these other phones have a SIM card that goes inside, so this one doesn't have that. You know, it's not that much bigger. I thought it would be bigger, and it'll be bigger once I put the case on it, but it's real close as far as this XR goes. It's nice. And I have screen protectors. I'm going to put a screen protector on there eventually. Maybe not right away. Maybe tomorrow or something like that. I'll clean the screen all up, make it nice, and put on one of these inexpensive screen protectors. Well, there it is. It's got fingerprints already. The iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now, since I'm upgrading from such an old phone, there's a lot of upgrades that are included, or there's a lot of upgrades that are going to be beneficial to the channel because they're upgrades, and I've made a little list of them, and I thought we could just spend a moment talking about them. So, like I said, 2020, I started making videos. This was the best camera I had, and I've been using it ever since. And I've since, got other cameras, but I still use the phone a lot. And one of the things that this new phone is going to do better for me is that the screen is a lot brighter. In particular, I often get out into the bright desert during the daytime, and I'm going around and I'm filming rocks and stuff, and if I can't see the screen good, if I can't tell if something's in focus, or in particular, I fly a drone and I still use a phone screen for my drone screen to see what's going on camera, and so a brighter screen, oftentimes in the desert, this thing will get hot and it dims a lot, right? And supposedly that happened with this new phone as well. But if it's brighter in some way, that's going to be a beneficial thing in a lot of ways, especially with the drone and being out in the desert. Stabilized cam. So this phone has a basic optical image stabilization, and this one also has a basic system, but it's a little bit more advanced, and then it has a lot more computer processing things going on in there that will help to increase the amount of stability. So I expect to find that when I'm using this phone and moving around, the videos are going to be better. They're going to be more stable and less jittery and stuff. This device, I think since about iPhone 14s, I'm not positive on that because I'm not a pro phone person, a pro iPhone user, but they have an emergency SOS via satellite. Now, this phone doesn't have that, and this phone doesn't have that, and I don't have one of those little devices that are satellite connectors, emergency beacons, or anything like that. Now, this has that built in, and that's a very key and important thing. I get out there and there's no cellular signal, and so if I get in trouble, this might offer me, some refuge from being far away from cellular signal, and maybe I can get help sent on the way with this device as opposed to this device. This phone they have a vapor chamber inside there, and that's a device meant to help disperse heat around the phone and through the aluminum frame and keep the thing cooler. And because I'm often in the desert, in the hot, this thing has shut down multiple times on me. I'll try to film something, but it's just too hot. And so then you can't film anything at all, and you can't use the device at all. And if this has a vapor chamber, and that improves the efficiency of the phone and maybe keeps it a little bit cooler, being able to use it in a higher temperature is a good thing. This phone has a LiDAR system. I think it's one of these two here. I don't know much about it other than it helps with autofocus for the cameras and some other things, but LiDAR, none of my other phones have LiDAR on them. Somewhere inside the guts and the computerized part of this phone is a wind reduction feature. And oftentimes I am out in the desert. It could be windy, and it's not very easy to use microphones with cellular phone with phones. I've often found that microphones, they just don't work very good, and they often are more trouble than they're worth. And so I get a lot of wind noise, and I have certain ways of dealing with that. But if there's something that can reduce the amount of wind noise electronically within this phone, well, then I think that's a good thing. Crash detection. So if I'm driving my truck and I crash it somewhere, and this phone could sense that there's been an accident and will, call out to 911 or whatever for me. None of these other phones would do that. Now, I do have some concerns about that because I like to ride a motorcycle, and I've been known to fall off my motorcycle quite often, and I wouldn't want this phone calling out to 911 every time I fall off my motorcycle. So I'm going to have to look into that, and it's going to take me a days or weeks or even months to learn how to use this phone I mean, I'm sure there's things that I'm never going to use, like it has some very professional video recording formats that I'll probably never use. Um, but because I have a YouTube channel, I thought that I should get the most capable phone. Right? I could have got a lesser phone, so I spent a little bit more, and I got some features that I think are going to be beneficial to this channel. And so that's it, right? I'm going to turn this on and set it all up in the privacy of my own home and start using it. I'm gonna put this on here in a moment, but I'll just finish up what I was saying. I'm going to set this up and then start using it. And yeah, I'm excited to have an upgrade on phone. Next, maybe I can get a different GoPro, but the old GoPro 8 still works pretty good. But yeah, the iPhone XR was getting a little bit long in the tooth, and I plan on keeping it around just the same as I keep this old iPhone 5, and it'll be a backup in case I break this thing or something, and then I just grab this one and carry on until I get this one fixed or something. And so I got this through Verizon, and I'm just doing their payment plan, the $33 a month, 0% interest. And we've been with Verizon for many years now, and so that's the way we're going to do it. And I'm going to be taking money out of my YouTube earnings to pay for it, which I think is a good thing, right? Make the YouTube pay for itself, get some new gears, and improve the quality of the channel, and have some new devices. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. All right, let's put on this OtterBox Defender Pro. I haven't even opened this thing, so I might have to cut something. Nothing in there. Now it's a little bigger. Seems a little bit thinner than this iPhone XR in the OtterBox case. So no worries. All right, so I forgot to talk about quite a few things on this new phone. So obviously one camera, and this one was 32 millimeters equivalent, full frame equivalent, and that's pretty zoomed in for a handheld device. It's not very wide, and so I'd often find myself pulling way back in order to get a wide shot if I was using the phone. So the main camera on this one is 24 millimeter equivalent. 24 millimeter full frame equivalent, right? So that's quite a bit wider than 32. Yeah, 32 millimeters. 32, 24, right? So that's I just think it's going to be easier to get things in the frame without having to pull back with that main camera. And that's the one you want to use because it has the biggest sensor, right? So this camera has 3 sensors in it. One is bigger at about, I think it's 12.5 millimeters in a diagonal for the main camera. And then the other 2 sensors, the wide at 13 millimeters full frame equivalent and the zoom at 100 millimeters full frame equivalent, have sensors the same size as this one, the 1/2.55, which is about 7 millimeters on a diagonal, right? And so this one's got 13 millimeters, so that's the ultra wide, which is pretty dang wide. 13 millimeters is very wide, full frame equivalent, and that turns into a macro mode, which we'll see. It just works supposedly, and we'll see. And then the other one being the 100 millimeter zoom, a 4x, right? And so oftentimes when I go out, I'll leave camp, and this is the only device that I'll bring for recording things. And it works fine for wide angle or getting really close, right? So the phones, in my opinion, have always been really good at looking at something up close, as opposed to the minimum focal distance for a GoPro is a foot or more. And the focal distance for the Sony camera is also much greater than what it is for a phone. You could get very close. And so this one having a macro mode, you can get very close, and it'll be in focus and look good, right? And so the 100 millimeter, I'll go out there and I don't have anything that's a long range, and oftentimes I'll spook up an animal, an elk or a deer or something, and it'll go running away, and it'd be really nice to be able to just zoom in real quick using the phone. And that's where the 100 millimeter camera, 100 millimeter lens, full frame equivalent lens, will come in handy, looking at those animals that are farther away. And then there's a lot of digital zoom, which could be very useful as well. And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and that was phone color, right? Obviously I picked the blue color, and that was on purpose. And they didn't have a black color. They had a silver color, an orange color, or the blue color. And I've had an orange camera before, and I ran into some problems with it, and I'd like to demonstrate that with you. So back about the time when this was a new phone, I was also using this little portable camera, and it's still a good camera. It has a macro mode. And I was using this camera all the time Up until recently, just a couple years ago, using this camera to take photos of the cabochons that I sell, right? Little polished rocks. And you'd get up close with the camera with the macro mode, and then oftentimes on the reflection, you will see an orange reflection, right? You see the orange reflection from the camera in the phone, right? So that is a reason why I did not choose an orange phone, because that reflection shows up a lot more, I think, than it will for a dark phone. Let me see if I can get a reflection with the blue. I don't know. It just looks dark, right? It just looks dark to me. I don't think I'm doing it very good, but I don't think that's going to show up. It's not going to show up near as much as what the orange one did. And so that's why I didn't get an orange phone. I don't think an orange phone, even if you cover it up, unless you're going to cover up this part too, if you're using macro mode and filming small polished rocks and things like that that reflect light, I don't think orange is a good color for that. Of the three colors, I thought that the blue was probably best for minimizing that intrusive reflection. All right, that's it. That's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.